All right, guys, this is my AI automation for Twitter outreach. I'm gonna show you how I use this, and obviously, like, here's some of my results. Like, I used to do 31K and I was like trying to scale. This is a system I use to scale to get models. Not a marketing strategy, it's an outreach strategy and a recruitment strategy. And now last month, I ended up at 181K. Let me guess, you're still reaching out to models on Instagram the same way everyone else is. Cold DMs, manual outreach, copy and pasted messages. And if you're being honest with yourself, you already know how that ends. Left on red, weeks of going back and forth, ghosting you right when it's time to actually move forward. The entire approach is dead. And the worst part, it's inconsistent, it eats your time, and everyone else is doing it, so it's completely saturated. Here's who beats you. AI automation is going to take OFM outreach to the next level. And if you're still relying on manual DMs or VAs to send 30 to 50 messages a day while your accounts are getting shadow banned left and right, you're already cooked. I want to show you a system I've personally built inside of my agency that I use. And it's not a strategy that anyone else is teaching because it's not a tool that you download. It's a workflow that I made myself. This isn't outsourcing. It's not like hiring VAs. This isn't posting and hoping. This is fully automated outreach running in the background, bringing you models so you can scale. So instead of sending 50 messages a day, we're sending 1,500 automatically, consistently, without needing a VA at all. You can run the entire thing by yourself. So you're gonna have more conversations, more qualified models, and more leverage. And you're gonna 10x what you're doing right now. So sit back and relax and watch closely because this system is going to redefine OFM and how people do outreach moving forward. And once you see it, you're never going back to manual DMs again. So let me break it all the way down for you. I use a scraping bot. So what the scraping bot does is it goes onto accounts, like let's just take Lulu for example, and it is going to take her following, who she follows. You're gonna take it here, all of these people, it's going to scrape them. So you're gonna get, just off this one, with the premium version, get the premium version because it's worth it. You can do up to 5,000 people or more. The free one's only like 300, I think. So you can download all these people and then you use a CSV, like Excel, whatever, and you have lists like username, names, first name, last name, bio, website, whatever, right? That's step one. So you pretty much build this out to where you're scraping big models followers. And then the thing is, you can take this part of the scraper, like after you scrape that model, you can take that model part of the scraper, go into these usernames that are OF girls, and then use it again on them and just keep rinsing this process. I hope people really understand how this works because I know it can be a bit confusing. So you take their following, when you open this bot up, you're gonna put her username in and you're going to get them to do who she follows, right? Then it's going to download them. And then you'll have an Excel sheet. And then this filter bot is something I've developed myself. So you put that list in there, right? So I pulled 50 just for the first run. I add the files, I process them, and once they process, then boom, they're all OnlyFans girls. That's what this bot is meant to do. It processes them to only be OnlyFans people. If you look, like they're all gonna be OF girls, location, bio, you can really tell here that these are OF girls. If you want this part of the bot, so like this isn't publicly available anywhere. Like this is something I built, I hard coded it, everything. If you want it, DM me on Instagram at fox.ofm. I will send it to you personally alongside my Notion so you can have this bot and use it yourself. So then it's gonna spit it out, right? You're gonna have all of these models that only do OF. And here's the kicker. You're going to then bring it over to this outreach bot, which is XReacher. So XReacher is a fucking goated platform. It's really good. You can bring on multiple different accounts and there's no promo link. I'm not shilling this for any other reason. This is just a really good tool. So you take XReacher and then you take all of these models, right? So imagine, let's just take it back for a second. Imagine you scrape 50,000 users. Then you're gonna boil it down through this CSV user filter because what you don't wanna do, you don't wanna take this bare list because it's gonna have like in the background, you can look like Topher and Animacron Inc. Like what this filter bot does is it removes all of them. So you just go and get as many users as possible and then you run it through this filter bot and then it gives you a list of a boatload of people, okay? I'm gonna come back to this here in a minute once I kind of talk about tips and tricks. But then, for example, like you take this list and you plug it into one account that's plugged into XReacher, okay? So you take one account, you plug it into XReacher, you plug all of these, you can use 4 accounts into XReacher and you're good to go. So like the first account, let's say you just do 150. So right now, you're probably doing 50 messages a day on outreach. So instead of doing 50, let's do 150 with one account. Boom, you're already 3xing your output. And guess what? You're not sending any of them because they're all automated. On XReacher, it's gonna give you an option to make different types of messages to send and it's gonna round robin them. And so like you'll first start off with 150, then you'll warm it up to 250, and then you can send 450 automated messages a day on X. And then you do that with 4 accounts, you're sending basically 2,000 messages a day, and then you download the app on your phone, and then we're just waiting for them to reply on notifications. And then you're just hitting it back to set the call. This will literally take your outreach into hyperdrive. It is it's so crazy. It's insane. So you download the app, and then it's really now about how good you are at setting your own appointments. That's really the key here. Once this starts clicking, you will start getting replies. And even better, imagine that, these are agency accounts, right? But imagine you have a model that's willing to help you, and then boom, you have a model account here, you got a model account here, your model account here, and a model account here. You're going to increase conversions by a mile doing this. If you run it with a model, like the conversions will go way higher, obviously, But then again, you gotta have a model that's willing to do it. It's just a tip and trick that I think would work really well. So this is pretty much the whole rundown. You're running this from the scraping side, right? So you're using this scraper. You're only scraping who they follow. The reason you do that is because OnlyFans girls typically follow other OnlyFans girls. Who do they get followed by? A bunch of crazy weirdos. So you don't want to, have them on your list at all. You want to go into the who they follow, and then you scrape them, and you keep rinsing this scrape. So once you get a list, like once you have this list, you're kind of just set. You take a bunch of, or like you run it through the bot, and then you just come back, and you're just hitting all those girls with the scraper. And you can get 10, 20, 30,000 people that are all OF girls. And the best part about this is once you have this master list, you basically have a bunch of users that no one else is scraping, and you're basically pulling data. Then, if you really want to get fancy with it, you can sort it by follower count. And if you've already hit them on Twitter, where like, boom, like your bot is running on them, you can also turn around. And since you have all of this, you have their links. All their links are right there. So on Instagram, I know it's really tough to do outreach on that platform, but if you have a list of girls and you can sort them by followers and you're just trying to scale a model, then you can just find the ones that have low followers like these. They're sorted by following, because that's what I did. And then you go to their link, and then boom, their Instagram is right there. Boom, DM, next one. Boom, DM, next one. Boom, DM, next one. You can literally crank out your 50 messages if you still want to keep doing Instagram within, 30 minutes, max. Like it will take you, it'd be so fast. And so that's another little segue in how to use this. And then XReacher, you're paying per account, and then it all is API based. It's just good to go. You have it loaded on there, and you can just come back and check it whenever you want. And you're gonna see the messages fly while you're logged in on your phone with these accounts. 4 accounts is safe to host on one phone. Running them through a models account will explode your reply rate. We will explode it. But this is a very, very, very good system to use because you are now automating the entire task. Does that make sense? Like you are taking something that was so small where you were sending 50 messages a day, just hoping someone replies to you, to now we're cranking 2,000 messages a day. And the biggest thing you have to do is just scrape them. Like, let me explain. Scraping, you just take the scraper bot right here, right? Like you're running this on 10 tabs, scrape, all across every single one of them. Then you take all those CSVs, when you run them into this Filterbot, you can just import 10, 20, 30, 40 files. It could be 20, 40, 50, 60,000 users. It boils them down to just OF girls, and then you just go take this list and you just plug it into XReacher. And you can really take this list, copy 10,000, make one list. Copy 10,000, make another list. So they're all unique, so the bots aren't messaging the same people, right? So like you make a 10,000 user list unique, another 10,000 user list unique, another one, and then boom, you're then sending messages to 40,000 people over the course of 10 days, and you're getting so many replies. Like this sauce is next level, and this is why I think AI automation is going to take over OFM. I'm on the forefront of it. This is a system I've been using that is really good. That honestly, like this is the most insane free sauce I'd probably find on YouTube. But I want to give it to you guys so you understand the process of how to make this work. So like I said, I made this by myself. If you want this, DM me on Instagram. This is my handle. I'm also going to send you my Notion alongside with it. That has every roadmap that you would need when it comes to scaling on OF or scaling, an agency. But this is one of the automations that's going to make your life 10 times easier. There's no more like hiring a VA to run this. If you're that lazy, you can just take your outreach VA to, like if you have one, you just take them to do this, go scrape a bunch of accounts, explain the process. Once they scrape them, then they just put them in a Dropbox, or they just do it themselves and you audit it. But this workflow to scrape, to get it to the Filterbot, this part alone, 20 minutes, 40,000 users, you're good. Then you bring it over to XReacher and you go and plug them all in. Because when you add these accounts, it's just gonna ask for a list. And then you're just like, boop. And then you're like, boop, boop. It's very easy. This is a very insane method that I have personally developed. I don't see anyone else using this at all. This is something that I found because when I used XReacher, I did it for mass DMs. So I was doing a mass DM strategy with a model. And then I realized I could just use this for outreach. And here we are. So this is beautiful. It's a very beautiful, beautiful system that will get you models. And I think that anyone that is taking advantage of AI right now when it comes to OFM is going to be extremely fortunate. And I'm going to keep preaching that because I'm doing other things with AI right now that my other students have access to. Like everyone in my community is going to have access to that. But this is like AI automation is going to take OFM to the next level if you're very good at it. Not the AI models, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about automated workflows that will work for you and 10x your outreach. Like no one is doing this right now. And if you start thumping this hard, the problem you're gonna have is you're gonna have too many models and you're not gonna know which ones to actually sign and which ones are worth it. That's the problem you're really gonna have. So run this really hard, get the conversations flowing. You are going to get replies. I cook on this all day long. This is something that is so easy to run. And the best part is on XReacher, even if you wanted to like have a VA do it or like you had an assistant or whatever, like you have a DM like a DM software in here. So like when they reply, you can mark them as a lead, and run them through here. You don't have to run them just on your phone. That's just good to go because when you're on the go. But when you're at home and you get a notification, boom, on your phone, you're on XReacher, you're talking to them, you're marking them as a lead, and then you can organize your leads. That way you have a really built out system for outreach. And if you're struggling to find a model, you don't have an excuse anymore. You don't have an excuse at all. This is the best system that is going to be available in 2026 for DMs and outreach. Like this is literally the best system that I think anyone is clever enough to show for free, for sure. This has to be it because there's not another way to do this much output on Instagram without getting flagged. Like there's no way to do it. On Instagram, the only thing they approve is inbound replies. Like someone follows you, you can message them. Like they can use an automated message with ManyChat, but this is an outbound automation. And it is, I'm sure after this video comes out, I'm sure a lot of other people are gonna try and teach this. But to be honest, you fucking heard it here first, and it's because I built this. And this is a really good system that will redefine how people are running their outreach. And I'll just say it time and time again, AI automation is going to take over OFM. And if you aren't on the bandwagon, you are behind. You don't have to learn how to code stuff. Like you don't have to learn how to hard code or vibe code at all. You just have to know the systems that people are using. Like I didn't build the automated outreach for X. I didn't build this Filterbot. I just found them and I plugged them in. I made a system that works, that really defines who I'm looking to target. And the best thing about this, there's also niches on this bot. So if you want to, like, if you scroll down on this bot, there's like niches where if you want to target, any type of model, let's just not get explicit, but any type of model you want to target, there's a niche for it. And then it'll just spit those out. You can keep the main list and then spit out the niche list for like one account, however you want to do it. That's the best part. Now you have all these tools in your tool belt, and now you can pretty much just cook. So I hope this video really helped you understand what is going on. So you're basically just pushing CSV files from one bot to another bot to another bot. And honestly, I could probably automate the entire thing if I wanted to, but keeping your hand in it right now is a good thing to do just for you, because if I just had a one-click bot, it's gonna get messy. You're gonna not have the right niches. You're gonna have like situations come up where like you're not paying enough attention to detail. So this will help you because on XReacher, you can also track your conversions. So the messages you're sending, let's just say like, whatever outreach message you want to use. And if you have questions about good outreach messages to use, just DM me, I'll send you a script. But those outreach messages will have reply rates and percentages and like all those things where you can say, oh, this one was 9% of the girls opened it. This one was 2%. This one was 1%. You're gonna have all the data that you need to know what's working and what's not. Because right now, you're just shooting in the dark. This will actually change your agency for the better. And if you use this system and you see the fruitfulness from it, I want you to come and say thank you to me in my Instagram DMs, because I think it's really good to run this. I think it's gonna be one of the best systems that's gonna be out there for this year, for sure. So thumbs up the video. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one.